Guten Morgen, bonjour, buenos dias, bom dia to investors in North and South America. 皆さんこんばんは。안녕하세요, 사와디. 各位晚安 Good evening to investors in Asia. Buenas tardes, guten Tag, добрый день, good afternoon to investors in Europe and Africa. I'm Daniel Yu speaking from Hong Kong. It's 31st March, Sunday here, 11 p.m. in Hong Kong, 11 a.m. in Wall Street, 4 p.m. in London. Welcome to our weekly review and outlook of American stock market. This week, I have three main points to talk about. Number one, end of inflation cycle. Number two, technology conflict of US and China. Number three, situation in Ukraine. Subscribe, like, and share. Remember to click the bell, please. Watch our playlist again so as to grasp the continuous trend of the market and refresh your mind. Nearly every investor knows that the standard inflation rate is 2.0%. A slight and healthy inflation is beneficial to the society, for when the prices rises, enterprise can have more profit and ultimately lead to the increase of salary. Thus, staff can use their salary to go out to spend, and when demand is greater again, prices will rise further, bringing prosperity to the society. But this slight inflation must be in the standard of 2.0%, neither too high or low. When too high, the price will be soared up and is a burden to general public. When too low, it's not strong enough to bring greater demand to increase the profit of the enterprise and salary of staff. The rate hike cycle started in March 2022, and before that, the Federal Reserve thought inflation was just temporary due to rebound of eliminating pandemic bans. But later on, it grew up to 9.1% in June 2022. Henceforward, it dropped gradually, and nearly all major central banks of the world are aiming at a target of 2.0%. However, it should not be too rigid. The area from 2.0% to 2.5% is said to be a gray area. That is when entering, which refer to the outer world. In February 2022, war in Ukraine started, and in October 2023, there was a terror attack by Hamas. This year, the Al-Houthi armed force attacked commercial ships in Red Sea, but still can bring PCE down to this gray level area. PCE is the figure that Federal Reserve mind most for inflation. In the past, the CPI often generated great fluctuation on the market because it's announced in the middle of the month, and PCE is announced by the end because it has to wait for a lot of data. Let's look at this chart. It shows the PCE from March 2022, the starting of rate hike cycle till now. In January 2024, it was 2.4%. In February 2024, even the rebound was at 2.5%. Both are within the gray area of 2.0 to 2.5%, even under two major wars except terror attacks. Some optimistic investors said it should be treated as target reached, but some still wait for hitting the target of 2.0%. So now market sentiment is in the position of intersection of salt water and fresh water. Both optimistic and pessimistic sentiment exists. According to the Financial Times, the Chinese government updated its computer parts procurement guidelines to gradually ban government computers from using chips made by US companies such as Intel and AMD. It also plans to reduce the use of Microsoft products and instead use products made in China so as to replace foreign technology. Mind that the term they are using is updating. That means similar guidelines has already issued years ago and now just tightening. On the Black Friday of July 2021, the Chinese government started to discourage people from learning English and using foreign software and hardware in computers. Let's see the chart of Nasdaq. The trend really started to fall in 2022. Another reason is that the rate hike cycle caused by inflation. Of course, the major reason is due to the military action of Russia in Ukraine, but the drop of sales is also one of the reasons. This means the market really did fall during the early periods. China has an enormous market, but if the ban is spread wide and done gradually year by year, the effect will be lowered. The AI industry has been booming and covers the loss caused by it. So we have to know how much they rely upon the market of China. Microsoft only has 1.5% business in China, and thus the effect is the least. AMD is 15% and Intel has 27.4%. Thus, we better refer to the current situation of AI-5. Microsoft occupies 12.63% in Magnificent 7 and number 1 in top 10 of market share. Its reliance upon China is the least, so even if the relation between China and US is worsened, it has no effect at all. Anyway, the best buying level is the price near to the 50 SMA. NVDA mined that even it only occupies 5.29% in Magnificent 7, but in top 10 market value, it has chased up to number 3 and total market value is now 2.258 trillion, which will surpass Apple's 2.647 trillion soon. The wealth of Jensun Huang is set to overtake Elon Musk soon. The 8-year chart shows that the rise in the first 3 months in 2024 equals to the rise in past 7 years, which is 84 months. But people still say the next 2 to 3 years will be the highest trend of development of AI. Let's wide open our eyes and see what will happen. Anyway, beware of adjustment. TSM is set to be the next NVDA. The target in Arizona is to invest 40 billion to build 6 plants, and the first plant is running, and in 2025 will maximize the production. Europe will also use 3.5 billion to develop the first plant, and Germany won the contract for a mega factory. It is in Dresden, Eastern Germany. During the falling trend of 2022, analysis in Taiwan told general citizens to invest their monthly salary into this stock after getting the pay every month and no need to worry. This stock surely will rise again, and now it has already gone over the high of 2022. AAPL is also in a typical rising trend of AI-5 stocks. The rise is so sharp and strict and even broken a lot of negative patterns such as shown in my teaching video too. It is known as the future of AI structure. Mind that it is set even surpass Amazon's 117% dividend one. For in the past years, its dividend increased from $7 to $80.4, which is so remarkable. It is a high rising stock both in price and dividend, so investors can earn both price and dividend without so much worries. AMD is the weakest among the AI-5 and is now adjusted. Just like NVDA, AMD is also developing special chips of lower ends for China, which is in accordance with the sanction. It is also developing the second factory in Malaysia, which is one of the 5 small tigers of Asia, and the whole trend is to find other places and not to rely on China. Once known as the factory of the world, now they also have a research and development center in Singapore. For the situation in Ukraine, even Singapore wishes to buy the F-35, so in the testimonial of their Congress, they disclose F-35 is now carrying out their duty in Ukraine as Air Early Warning AEW plane of NATO. Now NATO is not involved in direct fighting, but just supplying information to F-16. That's why so many expensive planes of Russia are shot down, including their AEW. Because Donald Trump wishes to end the war in 24 hours by cutting aid to Ukraine if he is elected, Europe wished to end the war before the US election. In the 2020 election, Donald Trump complained his failure was due to major media bias in favor of Joe Biden, so he established his Truth Social Media. Once the code was DWAC and now be listed as DJT. If Trump is elected, DJT will surely walk it up. Mind that the media war has changed the focus to TikTok and 60-second short video. To sum up, there are some tensions in South Sea not yet solved. The conflict between China and the Philippines is still quite severe. There are 3 supermoons in the year of 2024, which are in February, March, and April. The highest point of the market is very likely to be here. Last December, the forecast of 2024 is that S&P at 5,200 points, Dow Jones at 40,000 points, Nasdaq Composite at 70,000 points, Nasdaq 100 at 90,000 points. So beware of adjustment and remember to buy back before November comes. So subscribe, like and share. Sayonara, auf Wiedersehen, adieu, bye bye. See you next week.